Welcome back, boys and girls of Cartoon Universe. We have had a lot to talk about with the recent announcement of Steven Universe Future, and we're not done yet. The most interesting thing so far has been this villain card in the new opening sequence. We've discussed a lot of possibilities before, but the biggest question we have is, what exactly is this big ol' wormy boy? There have been a lot of theories ranging from a fusion to corruption to Steven himself, so buckle in, we're going to go over all of these possibilities, debunk the ones it absolutely couldn't be, and maybe find out which one it is. First theory, it's a fusion between Jasper and White Diamond. A lot of people think this is because its nose looks like Jasper's gem, and this bump right in the middle here could be White Diamond's gem. However, like I said in my last video, if you zoom in, there are holes in the nose, something that doesn't exist on Jasper's gem, so definitely not that. After that, the most popular idea is that it's a corrupted White Diamond, which is an interesting possibility. Perhaps after trying to use her shatter beam on Steven, he uses his shield, and when the beam blasts back at her, it corrupts only her. It would be a very fitting punishment. I even personally like the idea that this is White Diamond's true form. Imagine if they used the Rejuvenator on her, and this is what reformed. She is theoretically the first to ever gem after all, and there's no reason to believe that she came out as a gland-up humanoid on the first try. I like to think that she came out as something monstrous, and slowly reformed herself as she explored Homeworld and got poofed, changing herself slightly each time, until she found the perfect form. However, neither of these are true. When the worm first turns its head, you can see that this isn't a gem at all, it's just another horn, so that means it can't be White Diamond or any possible inclusion of her like a fusion. The most obvious answer is the one I put in my initial analysis of the new opening theme, which is that this is just a leftover corrupted monster. But what if this isn't just some random monster? What if the final villain is none other than Steven himself? Bear with me here. This theory comes from a Tumblr user with a very hard to pronounce username, but who also goes by Jen. In their posts, they provide some pretty convincing evidence that this could be Steven, and thanks to them, I even found some more details on my own that could support this. First and foremost, I think the official synopsis of SU Future may shed some light here. After saving the universe, Steven is still at it, tying up every loose end. But as he runs out of other people's problems to solve, he'll finally have to face his own. And most of Steven's problems stem from his issues with his identity. He's already had quite the identity crisis thinking he was Pink Diamond, but it certainly isn't ending there. In the storyboard leaks from a few months ago, we see Steven is sporting pink hair and diamond eyes, and he looks very concerned about it. Steven often tries to force a change when something isn't going the way he likes, and it often has disastrous results, and can even turn him into a bit of a monster. We know that emotional distress is something that worsens this sort of transformation, both for Steven and for the people affected by his corruption. Centipede clearly reverts to her fully corrupted form when presented with a stressful situation, and Jasper seems to have her corruption hasten more and more as she became angrier with Steven during their exchange. After trying to suppress his diamond side, this could be what Steven becomes. When trying to correct his form, he may accidentally just mutate instead. Still not convinced? Just look at the color scheme. The worm is pink. Sure, it's a dark pink, but the lighting of the shot in general is pretty dark. Even the eyes glow pink. Look at that. But of course, that isn't proof enough. Just look at its face as a whole. It is rather Steven-esque, with a similar general structure, nose, and even the spikes look quite a bit like his hair. And look at that smile. Doesn't that smile just look familiar? Sure, it's not actually Steven's smile, but it does look like the watermelon Steven's, pumpkin, and even the watermelon fish that was created using Steven's power. Next, look at the gem. Oh wait, you can't. There is no gem on its face or head or chestish area if a giant worm can be said to have one. We can easily write off half of the cast as a suspect here because we don't see a gem, but the worm is placed just perfectly enough behind the other villains to obscure where a navel gem might be, a navel gem like Steven's. But why exactly does this happen? Well, the hint may be right here next to the wormy boy. White Diamond is clearly not going to be all smiles this season. We know that the diamonds cause corruption, even if it is an accident. Now, though we see 3 diamonds working together to do it in the original scene, we know that all 4 aren't necessary, so White Diamond may be able to do some part of what caused the corruption herself. Perhaps in her anger, she uses her power to try and shatter Steven or someone else. He uses his shield, maybe even captures it within his bubble to try and stop all the gems on Earth from becoming affected by it again. Ultimately, this could end up corrupting himself in the process. It would be rather poetic for the series to end with Steven doing the opposite of what his mother did, sacrificing himself in order to save everyone else, instead of shielding himself at the expense of the rest of the world. It's hard to say exactly how this will all play out, but I do think Jen is really onto something here, but only time will tell. What do you guys think this wormy boy is? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you have a good theory, maybe we'll even make a video about it. See you next time.